Welcome back to Learn Academic English. I'm Jenna, and on this channel, I teach intermediate and advanced level lessons for English learners who want to take their English to the next level. One of the things that I teach all the time is grammar. And I know that grammar rules can be tricky, but I try to help break them down in an easy and clear way. In today's lesson, I'm going to talk about how to talk about the future. And you might be thinking, well, I know how to talk about the future in English. It's easy. I can use will or I can use be going to. But in today's lesson, I'm going to be focusing on 4 basic ways that we talk about the future. And these are things that we use all the time in conversation, in writing, all the time. Before we get into these rules, please don't forget to give this video a like if you find it helpful, leave a comment and practice with me below, and subscribe if you want more lessons like this one. And please note that I offer memberships to my YouTube community. And please check it out if you want more practice with me, including personalized feedback. Okay, so let's get into these rules. And the first one is to use will plus verb for the future. And of course, this one is pretty easy because when we use will plus verb, we don't need to worry about making any changes to the verb. It's I will, you will, he will, plus the verb. But the problem with will is that we only use it in some pretty specific situations. First, we use it for promises. For example, I will always love you. I will be here for you anytime you need me.
I will always love you.
Okay, the second one is for weak predictions. And weak predictions are things that we think will happen. We're not too sure, but we think they will happen. For example, it's been so cold lately. The weather will be better soon. So I'm not totally sure, but I think so. And third, for will, we use for immediate decisions. What does that mean? That means that it's something that we decide that we will do right now. For example, the phone is ringing and you can say, I will get it. Or the doorbell rings. I will get it.
I will get it. I will get it.
Or you see someone who needs help and you can say, I'll help you. Notice that will can be contracted, and in that case we say I'll, like I will, I'll help you, I'll help you. You'll, he'll, she'll, it'll, we'll, and they'll. We'll be there soon. Number 2, be going to plus verb. So this one is a little bit trickier because, first of all, it has 4 different words, but also because you have to remember to conjugate the verb be for the subject. So I am going to, you are going to, he, she, or it is going to, we are going to, they are going to. And you can use contractions. I'm going to, you're going to, he's going to, we're going to, they're going to. Another thing you want to notice with this one is that when we are speaking, going to sounds like gonna. And this is very common in American English. Gonna. I'm gonna do it. He's gonna come. She's gonna be there. Okay? So very, very common that going to changes and sounds like gonna. Sometimes you can see gonna written also, but it's not something we use in formal writing. So when do we use be going to plus verb? We use be going to plus verb for 2 things. First, for plans. For example, I'm going to study all day tomorrow. Or we're going to travel to Europe next year. Those are plans. Those are things that I know I am going to do.
I'm going to marry her.
The second reason is for strong predictions. And you might be thinking, well, what's a weak prediction? What's a strong prediction? You know, it's sometimes the line between these can get blurry. But a strong prediction means it's something that you think is going to happen based on something that you can see or some kind of evidence. For example, look at those dark clouds on the horizon. It's going to rain very soon. Okay, so that's a strong prediction.
I'm going to be sick. I'm going to puke.
Or, that movie was so good. I think you're gonna love it. Number 3, we can use present progressive to talk about the future. So this is where things get tricky because usually present progressive and the next one we'll talk about, simple present, are used for the present, not the future. But there are some situations in which we use these present tenses to actually talk about the future. So first of all, with present progressive, or it's also known as present continuous, you want to remember that the form is the verb be plus verb plus ing, okay? And remember that the be verb has to be conjugated for each of those people. For example, I'm studying, you're studying, he or she is studying, we're studying, they're studying. Now, present progressive can be used for the future to talk about plans that have a specific time. So what's the difference between these two? Well, sometimes we use both in the same situation, but for this one, we're really thinking about a specific time. Tomorrow afternoon, or tonight, or tomorrow at 8 a.m., or on Saturday. For example, I'm having lunch with Kim on Saturday. I'm going to a party tonight. That's present progressive. I'm going to a party tonight. I'm going to a party tonight. What are you doing tonight? Okay, could we use be going to in that situation? We could, because that's also a plan. We could say, I'm going to go to a party tonight. What are you going to do tonight? I'm going to go to a party tonight. But most native speakers will just use the present progressive in this case. It's more common and it's a little bit easier because it's shorter.
What are you doing tonight?
What are you doing tonight?
Okay, let's go to the last one, which is simple present. And this one is used in only very specific situations. The simple present is used to talk about the future when we refer to schedules or timetables. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, a timetable is like, imagine that you go to the train station and you see that big timetable shows you all the trains that are going to leave that day. That's a timetable. It's something that happens usually regularly, and it has a specific scheduled time. And we often use this with these verbs. Open, for example, the store opens tomorrow at 8 a.m. Close, start, begin, finish, end. Arrive, leave, take off. So that means to leave, especially for an airplane, when an airplane takes off. Get off, and this would be like, what time do you get off work? Tomorrow. I get off at 9 p.m. tomorrow. So that means I finish working.
What time do you get off tonight?
What time do you get home from school tonight?
And even the verb be. So let's look at a couple of examples. My flight leaves tomorrow at noon. Okay, when is the time? The time is in the future, tomorrow. But we use simple present because this is a schedule or a timetable situation. My flight takes off at noon tomorrow. My flight leaves at noon tomorrow. We could also say the wedding is on Saturday at 6 p.m. The wedding is on Saturday at 6 p.m. Why do we use simple present? Because that is something that is on a schedule.
When's the wedding?
Next Saturday.
So how can you learn and practice these? The best thing to do is to think of some very common examples, and you can get them by getting the link to the handout below that you can use to learn these at home. And then try to think of very common situations. For example, what are you doing tonight? Present progressive, because I'm asking you about your plans at a specific time. Okay? Or what are you going to do in the future? So that one is be going to, because I'm asking you about your plans, but I'm not really talking about a very specific time. Okay, remember promises, what you promise you will do. And for predictions, you can use both, but if it's a stronger prediction, you're going to use be going to. And you want to think in general that be going to is stronger than will, because we use be going to talk about plans, which is something pretty strong. It's on my calendar. It's something I know I am going to do. And for stronger predictions. And remember that we use will for immediate decisions, okay? I'll pay today. I'll help you. I'll get it. So practice with me in the comments below. I'll leave some questions that you can answer to help you practice these different forms. Don't forget to get the handout so you can study at home. And please let me know if you have questions, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Take care.